Welcome to the Overland Sea podcast. Today we are talking about the Man United game that's happening on Wednesday. They are currently 7th in the league on 24 points. They have 8 wins, no draws, and 6 losses. Their form hasn't been great, especially in the Champions League. They've scraped some wins, which we'll go into in a sec. But this is a massive game for us because, don't get me wrong, we do need the 3 points. Having said that, if we win and Spurs and West Ham draw at the very least, we will go 9th. Ideally, probably want a West Ham loss there to help us out. And then if Brentford beat Brighton, we can go to 8th, depending on goal difference. They are currently on +4 goal difference. We are currently on 3. And we will then be 2 points behind Man United in 7th. So it's actually a really big game. Don't get me wrong, as I've already said. It also revolves around other fixtures, but hopefully they will go our way and we could end up being 8th and 2 points behind Man United. As I said, United have struggled with performances recently. I won't go into the Europe results, but they are bottom of their group. Their last 5 results, they lost to Newcastle away 1-0 over the weekend. They beat Everton away 3-0, which is probably their most impressive performance in a long time, shall we say. They beat Luton at home 1-0. They beat Fulham away 1-0. And then they lost to City at home 3-0. Injuries-wise, United do have a fair few injuries as well. They've got, I can't read my handwriting there, Malacia,
yeah, left back.
thank you. He's out. Casemiro is injured. Martinez is injured. Johnny Evans is injured. Christian Eriksen is injured. Mason Mount is injured. Jadon Sancho is injured. And Aman Traore is also injured. For us, it's the usual suspects. Fofana and Lavia. Lavia's not due back until after this game. Gallagher is suspended, as we know, for his red card at home to Brighton on the weekend. Chilwell is also out. Gusto could be in contention to be back on the bench because Reece James is now going to be available, as is Cucurella, because their suspensions are over. And Cuckoo is also potentially back for this game, so he may be on the bench. But let's face it, they're not going to rush him back because they know he can't get injured again. And then also Chalobah and Chukwuemeka are also out still. So with that being said, Andrew, after the performance that we saw at home to Brighton on the weekend, what are you looking for from this game and how can you see it going, considering United haven't really been at it this season?
I think we need to get back to that sort of counter-attacking style, I think. And hopefully with United being at home, that they'll try and dominate the game. But I think they've always had a bit of a counter-attacking style, even when they're in their pomp. So it might be difficult to get that going. United are a bit of a weird one this season, where certain games they just turn it on and certain games they just don't look at it at all. But they've always got those last-minute goals in them this season by the looks of things, and they, even if you're 2 up with sort of 10 to go, the game's just not over. And obviously Newcastle absolutely thumped us a few weeks ago and they only lost 1-0. So it's not a foregone conclusion that even with slightly poor form that we'll be able to beat them. They obviously played it also on the Saturday and the late kickoff on the Sunday, so they've had sort of slightly longer to rest, recover and prepare. And I think that was a big help for us in against Brighton, where they obviously played on the Thursday and then we're playing on the Sunday when a full week. And I think Brighton looked very leggy even from the start. against us when we played them. So without wanting to sound like Jurgen Klopp, I think that will sort of factor in, and there is a slight advantage there. I think United are always a dangerous team. They always turn up against us. We very rarely have our own way against United. So I'm hoping for a good performance and a decent result. Whether that's a win or not, I don't know. I think I'd be happy with a draw coming away from United. If it was at home, I'd want to win, but I think away from home, you've historically not been expecting a win away at United, and I don't think we're at a level now where we're so much better than we should expect to win. I mean, we're still below them in the table, despite them not having a great season.
No, I agree. I think the thing with them though is that even when they weren't, I think they're playing better at the moment. Like they've got more resolve, I think is the word to describe them at the moment. They are, they are playing to the last minute, and they do have some big players that can produce some sort of magic. We've got Bruno Fernandes. Rashford's not having the best season at the moment, but we know that he can do something if need be. You've got Anthony as well. Again, not having the best season, but he can bang one in from wide right as well. McTominay's done really well. I don't actually know why he's not getting more game time, if I'm brutally honest, especially with the injuries they've got in midfield. And even Harry Maguire's looking better in defence for them. I know what you mean about the previous games, but then again, I'd say that, well, to be fair, even in their heyday when they had Fergie, we still used to give them a run for their money, even before Abramovich even came in. At one point, I think we actually had the best win percentage in the league against United than any other team, which says a lot, I guess. But do I expect us to win? No. Can I see us winning? Yes. And I think you can say the same thing about both teams. This is kind of the game that I've secretly been looking forward to the most, like in this spell of games, just because it was like, right, well, because of where they are and how they're playing and how they're struggling, I think it's just they're the closest rival that we have in terms of a big name that's near us. We managed to get out some good results against City and Spurs. The City one we probably should have won. Newcastle, we just didn't turn up, unfortunately. Grinded out a result against Brighton, which was good to see. Excuse me. Especially as we went down to 10 men. And for us to potentially be in 8th position after this game if we win, and only 2 points behind them, I just think that I want to say it looks a bit sexy, to be fair. Being sort of a little bit further up in the league compared to where we were. Europe's finally in sight to that point. It's not amazing, but I just feel like considering where we've been, like 10th, 11th, back up to 10th, this game we can potentially jump up to 8th, and it's just sort of a nice jump if we also have the other results go our way. I'm hoping that can then spur everybody on a bit more. But
I think I'm more hoping for a run of decent results, to be honest. I don't think we should be worrying too much about what other teams are doing, because what you said relies on West Ham not getting the best result, another team. So I think we just need to put a solid run of results together.
What would you?
The table will sort itself out. I think you've seen that with United and Spurs, where Spurs were absolutely flying, and now they've completely dropped like a stone.
Yeah, they've also had some massive injuries, and they've got they normally have 4 fullbacks playing in defence at the moment. So
yeah, and I'm not trying to slag Tottenham off. I'm just saying that
that's my job.
Results, if we start picking up points, we'll start climbing up the table. Like regularly, we'll start climbing up the table. And if we don't pick up points, we'll start dropping down the table. So I just want to see a run of like good results where we perform well. And I'm hoping now the international break's gone, and we don't have another one till next year, we will be in a position where we can perform at a high level every week. I think the international break's always killed us.
Yeah, but then also this is sort of like the busiest part of the Premier League now. You know, where there's a lot of games over Christmas and over December. That to me is quite worrying, just because of the injuries that we've got. And like you said, if you think it's been tough with an international break, I don't, how are they going to then handle two games a week, sometimes even more.
Well, I think we rely on dominating the midfield, and if we don't dominate the midfield in a game, then we struggle. And our midfield flies off to South America every international break for 2 weeks, and then comes back, has 2 days rest, and then plays again. I don't know, Newcastle are in a similar position, but for whatever reason, our players seem to struggle a lot, and Joelinton and Bruno didn't seem to struggle as much, and did an unbelievable performance against this. So I think I'm hoping that 2 games a week isn't too much, and we can push on, and it is just sort of jet lag and time differences that causes a large problem in that. But we'll see.
Going back to what you said earlier on, what do you call a decent run of performances and stuff in terms of like points wise?
I would like to see a string of wins. I would like to see a string of 5 or 6 wins. I think our Christmas one, we've still got a fair few difficult games, but after that, it gets slightly more easy, and we've got one of the better sort of Christmas periods, I'd say.
No, I mean I remember looking at the Christmas period over when the league fixtures first came out, and I didn't think it was awful. But then again, that was me looking at it pre us going into the league and obviously struggling with teams who like to park the bus. So
True. I mean, okay, so
I've not looked at it again because obviously with November and like the end of October, there were some big teams in that, and like teams that could cause trouble. And I think we've actually come out pretty well overall, if I'm brutally honest.
better than I was expecting. So we've got United obviously midweek. The weekend we've got Everton away. Then we've got Sheffield United at home, cup game against Newcastle. We've got Wolves away on Christmas Eve, which is a joke. And they're always a difficult team for us.
Yeah,
Palace on the 27th
that's
at home.
game.
Luton away on the 30th.
Yeah.
Fulham at home. That was our first game of 2024. And then we've got Liverpool, Wolves again. And then it gets a bit difficult. But all of those, if we're going to get European football, maybe take out the United game, we need to be winning almost all of those games. Maybe get a draw away against Wolves. But so we've got a time now where we should, in theory, be able to get a strong run of results together with a strong level of performance. I'm hoping that even with that low block that we hate playing against, that Everton will definitely play and some other teams will probably play. I'm hoping that we can get Cole Palmer involved a lot more. I don't think he came into the team quite late. He obviously joined right at the end of the transfer window. And I think for those earlier games, we didn't have Cole Palmer, who's been instrumental in unlocking teams.
Fair point.
And I'm hoping we'll have Nkunku back, and hopefully he, just from pre-season, seemed to link up well with Mudryk, seemed to link up well with Jackson, and having Jackson with slightly more support near him, even with the low block, will mean that there's more of that intricate play that might work for us. And at the minute, people haven't been close enough to Jackson in those games that they can kind of play off each other. It kind of feels like everyone's a bit isolated. So I think we're going into these games with a better chance of playing in those games. We'll just have to see.
Just quickly, because I know this is the United, the pre-game analysis for United. Out of those fixtures that you just read out, which teams do you think will actually get a win against? Because there are actually a fair few there for me where I'm like, I don't know if we could get a win against them. Like the 3 that stuck out for me massively: Everton, in recent years we've struggled against Everton, I think, and also
Yeah.
they've got a lot to fight for at the moment. Wolves, as you said, and also Wolves have been horrifically unlucky with some of their VAR decisions they've gone against them. They should be above us, actually. Which I think they're below us still, but they should be further up the table than they are. Had those VAR decisions not gone against them. And then Crystal Palace, even though I know that one's at home, they're not a pushover team.
I mean, you can say that about anyone in the league. There's no one in the league that you rock up to, especially away from home, and go, right, we've got these without even breaking a sweat. So you do have to perform in all of these games. There's not really any easy games. In theory, maybe Luton might be the only one in the league that you might be able to say are sort of whipping boys. But even they've picked up some results recently. Yes, we're going to have to play well over this period to win these games. But if we're going to get into Europe, we need to be beating all of these teams, really. Maybe with the exception of Wolves, where you might get away with just getting a point away at Wolves. But Everton in the relegation zone, we need to be beating. Sheffield United at home, we need to be beating. Then we've got Wolves. Palace at home, we should be beating. Luton away, we should be beating. Fulham at home, we should be beating.
No, I agree. We should be beating, but just because with the way that they play, I have concerns, shall we say? That's all I'm saying. Anything else for that, or do you want to go straight into the starting 11?
Let's do the teams.
Do the teams. Go on then.
We're going Sanchez in net. Right back, Reece James. Going Thiago Silva and Badiashile.
Oh, that's cool.
Not either of those.
It's been a long day.
And we're going Cucurella at left back. Because I think we need pace out wide. And Colwell seems to struggle with pace.
Well, he also invites the wingers onto him, which you don't want to be doing with United, to be honest.
No, against Rashford and Garnacho, I think we need a little bit of pace.
That's the point. I forgot about Garnacho.
The centre-backs will struggle. Midfield, Enzo, Caicedo, Palmer.
Who did I put there? That's Lavia. I need to sort that out. There's Caicedo.
Enzo.
Yeah. And then
Palmer. And front three, I'm going to go with Sterling, Mudryk, and I think Jackson, just match fitness and pace. I think Broja is also incredibly quick, but I think this is a game running off the back of Harry Maguire could be quite a useful little tactic. I think they'll also try and play quite a high line. So that will suit those three. And then we've got Broja off the bench as well.
fair.
Any changes? Anything you do? What were you thinking?
No, I thought you put Broja in, if I'm brutally honest. I mean, even I was tempted to after the Brighton game.
I wouldn't be against it. It's kind of a 50-50, but I just think I'm getting to a point of Jackson now has probably a better understanding with Sterling and Mudryk. I don't know that Broja needs games, but I don't think United away is potentially the one. I think I'd rather give him a home game. I think I wanted him more against Brighton for sort of battling, and they'll want a lot of the ball and chasing people down. I think he's more likely to cause Brighton to have made a mistake.
Yeah, fair.
Against United, I don't think that they play that passing it around the back and like holding onto it, ball on like foot on top of the ball and like rolling it around.
No, they normally let their midfield control controlling.
Yeah, I think we lose a bit of the benefit having Broja in there over Jackson, and I think edging it towards the player that has played more with the players around him, and therefore, in theory, should get more of an opportunity to score.
No, fair. I mean, I think with Broja and Jackson, it really is at the moment a 50-50 thing. You know, Broja does need a few more minutes. I think you're right about the pace. So I'm hoping that can come into it. I completely agree with the midfield. I mean, to be fair, I think overall I actually do agree fully with your team. I think where I'm hesitant, it's more certain things where I kind of go, I don't really want him playing, but at the same time, I actually do think that person that's in is still the best person to put on for the game.
Who do you not want playing?
Well, I'm still struggling with the left back position at the moment. Like, I love Colwell, I think he's great, but he's not a left back.
No.
Cucurella, as I've said numerous times, I think he's good. He's a good squad player. I still worry about him a little bit, in terms of just sometimes his defending and sometimes his attacking. But the pace, at least, he's got. I think he just plays simple balls. I don't think there's not another option really other than putting Cole Palmer in the middle. I mean, you could potentially put Mudryk, but he's quicker, so he should definitely be out wide. And I'd like to see hopefully a bigger game from Mudryk in this game. He's got to start doing a few more bits. There's signs of it against Brighton, but yeah, that's it. Well, he did get the penalty as well, to be fair to him. But yeah, no, I think actually overall I agree with your team.
Nice, I've smashed it then. Decent.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the starting 11 if I'm brutally honest. I can't see anything that I would normally go, oh, but Poch will probably do this.
I think Poch might play Colwell instead of Badiashile, because I think he's had a chat with Colwell to basically say that it's his place to lose, just from how much he's been trying to play him left back and just trying to include him when he's fit. So I think he might play him. I don't want him up against Rashford on that side though. So on playing left back, and I think Badiashile's done incredibly well when he's played. And he's obviously got the height. If anyone's marking Harry Maguire from set pieces, I think it's Badiashile. Or beating him to a header. So yeah, I've slightly edged it to Badiashile as much as I do like Colwell.
I think it's one of those ones that's 50-50. I just don't think you can take Thiago Silva out. And then granted, Colwell and Badiashile are both left-footed. And we've had that conversation before. Can they play together? And if so, who would play on the left centre-back and who would play on the right centre-back? But I wouldn't be upset if Colwell was in at left centre-back.
No.
It's one of those ones where I go, I'd have either one of them playing. I don't mind. That's not a concern for me. When you've got those three fit, Thiago Silva, Badiashile, and Colwell fit, I'm like, yeah, sweet, that's fine. Zazie, I'm still a little bit, not massively, but a little bit. I'm more than anything, I'm surprised that we're actually looking at another centre back. If I'm brutally honest,
we've got so many. I think the only justification I can make for it is we'll, for whatever reason, don't want to get rid of Trevor. And then I think it's a foregone conclusion that Thiago Silva will leave at the end of this season.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And then you're looking, we've got 5 centre-backs. I don't really see a problem with 5. But with the injuries that Fofana has had, I mean, Badiashile's been out for a while in his Chelsea career. You then look at, okay, we might just have 3 fit centre-backs. So I can understand them getting another one in, but it's a lot. There's a lot of centre-backs. Especially if we're not going to be playing 3 at the back. If we're playing sort of a 3 or 5 at the back system, I can understand
that's what I mean.
Many centre backs, and maybe they want to keep that as an option. But I think I think Levi Cole will go to the middle, and you have Badashil and probably Fofana either side of him. Dizazi is a decent backup, and then you have another one.
For me,
The issue that we've got, the
I
issue
just
that
I just
the,
want to prioritize it. That's all.
no, neither would I. I think
Not genuine.
the issue that we've got is it's pointless buying a young one because we've got Colwell, Fofana, Badashil, who are all quite young. Dizazi's 25. And if you buy one that's older, more experienced, you kind of go, well, one, they have to sort of play, otherwise it's pointless getting them in. And two, you're then just hampering the development of a younger centre back, unless the idea is to send one of them out on loan. I just don't think it makes sense, but it wouldn't surprise me if we got a centre back in. It wouldn't surprise me if we got a left back in, even though, again, that doesn't really make sense when we've got one of the better young left backs in the world at the club and he doesn't get to play. Who's going to come in and.
Well, he played on the weekend. He played right back. So
yeah, so we've just got so many young players that you can't really win with buying players at the minute. Really,
we've actually got too many young players. We've
yeah,
got too many. Honestly, like it's.
and we've got like 4 centre mids out on loan. We're looking at buying more young centre mids. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No. Although I will say, apparently, is it Kendry? Kendry Paez? Is that his first name?
Yeah.
Apparently, his visa's being approved. So he might be able to come over to the UK quicker than we expected. So that's a 15, 16 that can come over as soon as he wants now.
Oh, really? I thought he just couldn't do it until he was 18. I thought footballing rules meant he couldn't do it until he was 18.
Well, I thought that, but they now talk about like the visa and stuff's being like sorted a lot quicker than people expected. So
because there was talk of him doing pre-season with us next summer, and then going back to wherever he is. It might just be he's playing all of his national team's games at the minute, and he's been unbelievable. So there's an argument to say that he can play in the top level and he could be in the first team. But
he's got a
I thought the rules were you basically couldn't move before you were 18 unless like your parents moved for non-footballing reasons.
I'm not sure what the rules are anymore, if I'm brutally honest.
No.
I think he's like 16, but I think he's got a fair few caps and more caps on him already. And
yeah, him and Caicedo in midfield are just running things for them.
Yeah. But then again, if that's true, great, we've got another quality player. But who are you dropping? You know, and again, whoever you're dropping is probably still young. So
they are still young because look who's there; they're all 21.
Yeah, and then the other thing as well, speaking of these rules, I know again it's not about Man United, but just quickly, like this rule about loaning 7 players out to Europe.
Yeah.
So we've done that. So if we wanted to loan anybody else out, we'd have to call someone back or sell them. Because Ziyech is only loaned out. Lukaku's loaned out. There's a few others, obviously. So because they're talking about who are they talking about? Someone was talking about loaning out, getting Big Les out on loan.
Mm.
And obviously we've got Santos coming back. So we'll have to loan them to an English team.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with loaning to an English team if that's possible. It
might be a championship team, but you know,
I don't know the rules. We'll see. Cesar Casadei is doing quite well.
He's done very well at Leicester.
I don't have a problem with putting them down there while they adapt to the English game and give them 6 months out there, and we'll see if Premier League teams want them for next year, or if we want to keep them around the first team. We'll see. But that's for a different video, I think.
I'm gonna stop sharing. So yeah, we agreed on the team sheet. Anything else that you wanted to discuss for this game?
I'm going 2-1 Chelsea.
Going 2-1 Chelsea.
I've got Sterling and Palmer to score.
Sterling and Palmer.
Yeah.
Fair. I agree with 2-1. I just want to win, to be honest. I don't care if it's 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, whatever it is. I really want these 3 points.
Mm.
I mean, Enzo could have had a hat trick against Brighton. I forgot about that in the last one because he missed an opportunity not long after he got his first goal. Do you know what? I'm going to throw Enzo in the mix just because I'm hoping it spurs him on. And then I really want to see Mudryk get a goal. I think it's more likely to be like what you said, Sterling and Cole Palmer, but I'm just going to send out positive vibes and I'm going to go with Mudryk and Enzo because I want to see Enzo keep scoring and I'd love for Mudryk to get a big goal.
Nice. Well, let's see what happens on Wednesday night.
Yeah, is it on Amazon?
Don't know. Haven't looked. I've got all the channels though, so it doesn't
Brush your shoulder off. Yeah.
It is on Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah, cool. Wicked. So yeah, do you know what? In that case, I'm gonna let you do the sign off today.
Oh, I can't do it.
You can't do it.
No.
Why can't you do it?
I don't know how.
Oh, fair enough. You've done it before.
You put me on the spot here. I was rabbit in headlights. I was not ready for this. I was getting relaxed. I was like, here we go. He's going to sign off. I'll just sit here for a few minutes. That's perfect.
Okay, I'll do the sign off. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, notification button, follow. And yeah, hopefully we get 3 points away at Old Trafford. Stay tuned for the post-game analysis. Thank you for watching.